Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Build Your Copywriting Business podcast. Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. As always, I am joined by the glittering and glamorous Kate Sitars. Hello, Kate.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I don't think I could compliment you without using alliteration if I tried. It helps. And Kate and I have the pleasure of being joined by CCA student and copywriter and just all around fabulous person, Joanna Kessner. Hello, Joanna.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
It is entirely our pleasure. We were chatting just a little bit about, and obviously we know your story, chatting just a little bit before we got started, but let's go all the way back to the beginning when you were getting started. What is your background? And then what got you into copywriting?
So my background is a little bit of a windy road, and my story starts pretty similarly to probably a lot of people's, where it was 2020. I was home. I was a teacher at that time. And I, along with half of the world, questioned all of their life decisions and how they wanted their life to look like, their day to day. And I knew I loved being at home with my family. And at the time, we had 3 kids. We also had 2 foster children during that time as well. So life was crazy, but I knew I wanted to find something where I wasn't in such an inflexible career as teaching. They have summers off and that's great, but day to day, it's not super flexible. So I searched the internet high and low for some way to make money. We needed 2 incomes. And I stumbled upon an ad for a course called Comprehensive Copywriting Academy.
Hey.
I had enjoyed writing. I'd never been a huge writer, but I thought, I'll give it a try. I knew for certain I did not want to get a different job. I wanted to own my own business. And so when I saw that, I jumped in with both feet and never looked back.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's path is different. Some people, it takes there's some hesitation and a little bit of, I don't know, should I, shouldn't I? Or what do you think it was about copywriting as a path, or is it just you as a person that allowed you to really kind of jump in and go, this is it, I'm just going to do it?
Yeah, if you ask my family, they were not surprised that I was like, hey, I'm completely going from a pretty stable career. I was a special education teacher and they're always needed. So it was a very stable, consistent career. And so
thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Like that's
and to all
teachers.
Yes. Still tracking along.
Thank you.
But so no one was surprised that I was like completely changing courses here. But I think it's just my personality. Like I knew I wanted more flexibility. I knew I wanted to be at home with my kids more. So it really was a personality thing. And like I said, jumped in with both feet. It doesn't mean I doubted myself every single day, many, many times.
Yes.
But I knew
part of the process.
Right. But I knew this is what I wanted to do. And I knew that eventually it was going to work out.
Oh, good for you.
Stop.
I love that statement. And I really want to draw a line under that you knew it was going to work out as long as you didn't stop. Did you kind of come into that? Did you come into it knowing with that understanding that I knew it was going to work as long as I didn't stop? Or is that just lesson that you have found in your life? Because I think it takes a lot of people a while to learn that it's really the persistence that is the key.
For sure. There's many entrepreneurs in my family. And so kind of thinking outside of the box is just what I kind of grew up with, kind of that business ownership like mentality. So that really helped me. And so this is kind of going out of left field a little bit, but my mom, she owned her own cleaning business. And so I saw her from a young age cleaning bathrooms and just really like working very hard. Doing the work. And then she eventually was my dad took over the business and she was able to spend her days getting her nails done and most importantly, spending them with grandkids. And so I knew that like when we're focused and when you do the hard work, it's going to pay off eventually. So thankfully to my parents, I had that great example.
That's fantastic. Well, and now you can be that example for your kids. Absolutely. But of course, anybody who's listening and watching as well. Yeah.
You mentioned, obviously having doubts daily, like we all do. So what were some, just early on when you first started the program, what were some of those doubts that you faced? And was there anything specific besides, okay, I know if I don't stop and just consistently doing the work, were there any other tactics that you used to to get through those doubts?
Really, and I think that this is like advice that I would encourage anyone to enact, to use, is just get started. You just got to push through. Sometimes you're going to have clients who aren't going to love the things that you write. Sometimes you are going to have, I think I had one review that said, okay. It was early on. It was like, whoa, could you have been like two little tiny words that were so like just negative. And if I would have been like, oh, that one client thinks that my work isn't good and just kind of spiraled, then I would never have been able to quit teaching. I would have never been able to have the day-to-day life that I want. So I think just like, and I've taken many courses in different things that I'm interested in, and they always have the mindset module. And I always thought, oh, that mindset module is silly. No, it's not. You gotta go back to it, and you got to keep going back to it, because you're going to have naysayers. Like I said, my family's very, very encouraging. My husband is my biggest cheerleader. I could tell him I want to start like 3 businesses tomorrow and be like, all right, babe, let's do it. But that's not everyone. And so you really have to like get laser focused on what you want your life to look like, why you want to do it. And I think that's so very important, to just like to be laser focused in on why you want to do it.
Yeah, I love that. Laser focus, and then just keep doing the thing, keep taking action. Yeah. So what was the transition going from teaching to copywriting? How did you structure that transition? Hey there, it's Nikki. I wanted to take a very quick minute to make sure that you knew about our free on-demand copywriting training. Now, whether you are brand new to copywriting or you've been doing it for a while, but you just can't seem to hit those income goals, this training is for you. You are going to learn the 3 secrets to landing freelance copywriting work without relying on frustrating job bidding sites like Upwork or Fiverr, or without cold calling strangers. And if you've watched any of the student success stories on this channel, and if you haven't yet, check them out. This is the exact same training that they all started with. And I mean students like Kate K, who is making 6 figures working part-time and retired her husband to help her build her business. Students like Stuart, who replaced his full-time salary, which was a good one, with his freelance income and then some. Stacy, who hit 6 figures in her first 6 months as a freelance copywriter, and Ashley, who landed the in-house copywriting job of her dreams. They all started with this free training, and you can start with this free training too. So sign up right now at freecopywritingtraining.com.
It was a lot. I really love an early bedtime. We have 4 kids, and so now even more. So it would be really long days. I would be listening to modules on my way to and from school, and then I would do like the work and the spec work during lunch or during when I got home. And once I started getting clients, I would be up till 11 o'clock, which is very late for me. And it would just be really, really long days. But I'm like, this is what I want it to be like. This is what I want to do. So that it was hard to structure that. And then I finally, when I got on maternity, we had our son and our youngest, October 2021. And that's when I kind of had the freedom. I mean, I had an infant, but the freedom. Right.
You had a full-time job still.
Seriously, but I would do discovery calls with like the infant like next to me holding like a bottle while I'm like hoping that he's not going to cry during it. So it was juggling a lot, but it was well worth it.
Yeah. There are times in anyone's career, no matter what we're doing, that you're doing the tough stuff. You're doing maybe more hours than you want to, or maybe you're different hours than you want to, or maybe the workload is not what you want it to be, but you put that effort in because you know it's not going to be like that forever.
You have your vision that you're laser focused on, because without that, it's like, what am I doing?
For sure. Yeah. So I started CCA in August. I was doing really, really well. I was getting clients towards the end of the year, the beginning of the year.
Good for you.
I had even invested in a business coach because I was in it to win it. I really wanted to expand into an agency. And then in February of 2021, I found out I was pregnant with our 4th, which was fabulous. 4 days later, I found out that I had thyroid cancer. So
oh my God.
Talk about derailing and craziness. And it really like stopped. I mean, it halted any progress that I had made. It was, I knew that everything was going to work out. I had an amazing medical team. They never made me doubt that the only outcome was positive, but I was so tired. I was so stressed. And so I like really struggled during that. My business went from, I was making close to 4 figures to $150 a month. So when I had our son in October and I was planning on leaving teaching, I was making 150. Teachers don't make a lot of money, but they certainly make more than 150 a month. So then once I had him, again, I got laser focused. I was able to, my health was back on track. And then I was able to really start that momentum again, which led me a few months later to being able to put in my resignation while on maternity leave. So it's, you just, whatever happens, if that's what you want, you gotta stay focused, but also give your time. Like you need time for you to focus on you is important. So I didn't burn out during that time. I just was really needing to focus on myself and my baby. So
that's amazing. We never want to compare anyone's struggles, right? No, everyone, we all have our own individual struggles, but I think that it can be helpful for objectively going through cancer and cancer treatments, and while also having a full family at home and being pregnant is a lot to deal with. So I think that again, not to compare struggles, but I think offering the inspiration that you were really up against it. Like you had a lot going on and you still took care of yourself and step by step moved forward in the direction that you wanted to go. I think that is so inspirational. And so thank you for sharing that, because it's all very personal. So I really appreciate it.
Well, and like success is not linear. Like it's not, sometimes you do really well and sometimes you don't. And then hopefully the goal is that you're maintaining that level of success that you want, or that you're always doing better. But just because you have to take a few steps back doesn't mean it's over. So I think that's really important too, because if you own your own business, or if you are doing something copywriting, that's not always like whether kind of whichever route you take on how copywriting looks for you, it's not always, it's just not linear. And so I think it's important to know, just because you get a no doesn't mean that's the end of the road.
And it's not all our careers too. I mean, I think in that moment, successful treatment of your cancer, successful delivery of your baby outweighs any copywriter.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I assume you're doing well now with.
Yes, all I needed was a total thyroidectomy and then no further treatment.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what that means, but when you say all I need, that sounds like a lot still, Joanna.
They had to just remove part of my body.
All I needed was
no
this,
biggie.
This surgery.
I had it when I was 15 weeks pregnant, and they removed my thyroid, which is, yes, it's a big deal, but it's a very small organ, and all I have to do is take medicine. So
I'm glad you're doing well.
Yes, very much so.
Not to diminish anyone else's experience. I know that thyroid cancer it could be different for other people. For me, it worked out well.
That's good.
Happy to hear that. Yeah.
Fortunate, and yes, glad to hear that you
I don't do well with anything medical, so I need to. You're like, all I had to do is this. I'm like,
4 years removed. It's been 4 years, so it seems like a blur now. So
yeah, probably
the blip on the radar, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Busy days between now and then. Yeah. So how has your career evolved since then? Since you went full-time into copywriting?
So right after I had our fourth, I got one client towards the end of that year. That was a 4-figure, pretty consistent client every single month. Then a couple of months later, I got and I had December of 2021, I got a 4-figure client. And then a few months later, I got another 4-figure client, monthly recurring income. Between those two, I had some smaller clients. So it had kind of just built and grew from there.
That's fantastic. And did you find yourself regularly working with these same clients? Are you doing regular outreach now, or are you kind of sticking with the consistent clients you have? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. So I like to do kind of one larger client. I know some people like to kind of be more flexible. I like that relationship that you can build. My largest client is a digital marketing agency. I've learned a ton Through that, I really love, my favorite type of copy is doing website copy and doing kind of brand messaging calls with clients and helping them figure out. That's where like I light up when I get to talk to clients about that. And then kind of where my business is going now is we're getting ready to start offering website design and development. I've redesigned my website plenty of times, so I'm like, it is time, and I'm bringing on some people to do that. So I'm really excited about kind of where that's going to go.
That's very exciting. So you had way back when you were thinking, oh, I think I want to get into an agency. So you're heading into that agency direction now.
Yeah.
Very exciting. What does obviously only share what you are comfortable sharing, but what does your team look like? And how are you, is your team all remote? Does anybody live nearby? Give us any details you're happy to share or you're comfortable sharing.
Yeah. Well, my first team member lives in my home. He's my husband.
Oh, convenient.
Right, very convenient. He has started doing a lot of web design and development, and so that's been really fun to kind of work with him on that. But he kind of has his very specific web builders that he uses. And so I have a couple of people that I'm going to kind of contract out that specialize in whether it's WordPress or whatever it may be. And then my next hire eventually in the next like 6 months will be a VA because I'm not good with those very specific details. I need someone to keep me in line.
Me too. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I know, can you tell us, we did a whole episode on just all the jobs you can do as a copywriter that this can transition into. And I know you've done several different roles. Can you talk about how that evolved as you started copywriting, doing copy for clients, but then how it kind of took a bunch of different directions?
Yeah, I just really love to learn different things. Sometimes I try not to make it the shiny object syndrome where you think something's like really fun, but I really do love to like learn different things. So when I started with copy, I thought it was going to be this specific route. And I did a lot of like social media captions and ads and things like that. And I thought that's what I was going to do. And then I was like, oh, they're like, they need a website, someone to write website copy. And so kind of just as I got more clients and they needed certain things, and I think when they're smaller, like small businesses, smaller entrepreneurs, they're more willing to kind of let them be the guinea pig.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very grateful to those clients who allowed me to kind of learn while I was on the job. And that's kind of the windy road that I took. So a lot of like website copy, even some project management, which I've really grown to love as I kind of work with the copy. So yeah, a lot of different things, but I love to learn. So
well, and that will put you in good stead as you move into building up the agency
all
as
the
well.
project management skills, so helpful.
Yes, but I'm hoping the VA is really good at project.
There you go.
Oversee
so you're
them.
like, I can do it and I'm really good at it, but I don't like to do it.
Yeah. Right. It's a part of my brain I don't love to work, but let me talk to clients about brand messaging and writing their websites, and I'm a happy camper.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have and nothing that will hold you to, of course, but do you have kind of a vision for what you would like the agency to be 5 years down the road or even further if you're or are you kind of open to whatever direction it goes?
I am open. I am the type of person that's like, go big or go home, which is funny because I love to be at home all the time. But
that's the perks of,
So
of working at home. You can go big
like, I win
and stay home. Yes.
Yeah. All the time. So I would say right now I'm thinking very small, very like boutique, like if you will. I feel like that's a little trendier than what I would usually say. But small now, like if dream big, it would be a little bit larger. Since I started, I really wanted to find a way to help other like moms who are teachers and they're like, I need a way out. And maybe they're not quite as entrepreneurial minded. Maybe that doesn't light them up like it does me, but I really want to eventually maybe helping train them to do something like this would be fun. Like bringing them onto my team and helping.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's very
cool. And teachers have so many skills, so.
Yes. I mean, I had a couple of years ago, I had a little a monthly membership where I worked with teachers about like what they could do. And a lot of them were like, I don't have any, I just can teach. And I was like, oh no. I said, here is a list of things like
Yeah.
project management.
Yes.
Like they're so good at that. And I'm not even like a lot of teachers are more on the type A side. I'm more on the type C side. But I'm like, you guys have so many like wonderful skills. Like you're like,
Yeah.
so many are very organized. So yeah, they have a bazillion skills. So
Oh, that's amazing. So if someone's listening and they're thinking, oh, wow, I'm inspired by Joanna's story. I'm inspired. What, and this is really very broad, so take it whatever direction you like to, but what advice would you offer them if they're kind of thinking, maybe this is something I want to get into, or maybe I need to change, or maybe they are teachers as well, and they're thinking, I need to get out of this. What advice do you have to offer them?
take the leap, make a decision, and run with it. Like, I think we just so overthink everything. You think just because you buy a course to do copywriting that you're like signing your life away.
Minute.
It could be a huge deal for you and your family if it's the right fit for you, but like, it's not, you're not committing yourself to anything by exploring and learning. And if this is something that you really want, try it out. I do think that there's a little bit of a danger with if you try things out because then you're not fully committed. I do think like my full commitment to this has really benefited me, but I do think like some people think they have to have everything figured out before they start. And I think you just got to get going. You got to make a move.
Yeah.
Sitting and doing the
Mhm.
same thing isn't getting you where you want, but learning more and just one foot in front of the other.
Well, and what's true for business is also true for life. There are twists and turns that
To
we
say we
would
never
never
have
expect.
it figured out until life is over. So that's you gotta like embrace the not knowing it because that's life.
Right?
Like,
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just to see where it takes you and be open
Yeah.
to where it takes you. I think that's excellent advice. Yeah.
When I
Now,
got you where you, I feel like you were open to so many different things that, and I don't know, I guess you are where you imagined you would be, but I feel like I imagine along the way, it might not have been the direct path that you thought would get you there per se. I don't know.
Oh, right. Like my day-to-day life is really how I wanted it to be 5 years ago, like how I
Yeah.
hoped and dreamed it would be. But it certainly is different. I'm doing very different things than I thought I would be doing 5 years ago. But I think the goal for me was I wanted to make more than I did as a teacher. And I wanted to have the flexibility to go to my kids' trunk or treat in the middle of the day. I wanted to be able to, if my kid needed a mental health day, I wanted to be able to drop everything and go to breakfast with them if that's what they needed. So even though it looks different, the work that I'm doing, my day-to-day looks exactly how I really want it to look like.
Good
that's
for you.
wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's no small feat. That is not to imagine something, pursue it, and get it is a big deal and really worth celebrating. So good for you.
But I think the insight there too, that you didn't necessarily try to force the path to get to where you wanted to be. You got to where you wanted to be by taking the opportunities. And you know, I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like sometimes if we're like too committed to like, this is the way, and then we get frustrated if it's not. But it's like, no, maybe, okay, maybe I need to adjust a little and I can still get to what I want. It just might, to your point, look a little bit different than you thought it was going to look. I love that. I love it.
So now if someone is listening and they're thinking, oh my gosh, Joanna's amazing, and maybe someone's listening and they're looking to hire copywriters, where can people find you or follow you or whatever you prefer?
LinkedIn would be
Great.
be a good place.
Excellent. We'll put the link to your LinkedIn profile so people can follow you and see all of the amazing stuff. Have you been, just to go on a slightly different tangent, have you been getting work from LinkedIn, or is that your favorite social media profile of choice?
To be really honest, at this exact moment, it feels like the most professional answer, but I am going to say another place. So I have on Instagram, they can also find me on Instagram as well. That's kind of the more fun place, but LinkedIn is the more professional.
That makes complete sense. Exactly.
I'm glad it makes sense.
Yes. And
No
no
wrong
judgment.
answers.
Exactly. There's no wrong answers. There's no judgment at all about wherever we're building our presence out in the world at all. Yeah. Yeah. Good for you. Well, Joanna, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. There's so much there, and I think this is going to be one that people are going to want to listen to a couple of times through, because there are all kinds of nuggets of wisdom in everything that you've shared with us. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you both for all the work you put into the CCA. Like this, I did the work, but you all helped start that work. So thank you both very much. So,
Oh, well, thank you.
You beat Nikki
that
to
means a
her
lot.
line of saying, but you did the work.
Yes,
No,
you did the work.
that's
Yeah. Yes.
You're like, I know I did the work, which good for you for knowing
Yes,
that.
good. Take that credit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. And so with that, we will catch you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody.
Like what you heard? Hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And if you're ready to take the first step toward becoming a copywriter yourself, sign up for a free video training right here.